Hello, my people. We humbly welcome you to the African Beat.
and Caribbean Heat podcast.
It's your boy Obadolas, aka Dolama.
And I am Queen Teah. Welcome to our episode. How you
Yes.
doing, sir?
Good, good. It's a beautiful Sunday.
It is
The
a
weather is
wonderful day.
nice. Looking forward to the day outside and enjoying the weather. How are you
Yeah.
doing?
I'm doing great. I had a pretty packed week with work and other things. So I'm looking forward to starting a new week. I can't believe summer is almost ending.
Ooh, man.
Listen, I literally thought May was 2 days ago. Now we're getting ready to go into September. And the not so fun parts about living in this part of the world.
Yeah.
The cold, right?
It gets real cold.
We don't like it.
Wear a big jacket.
Yeah.
Freezing your balls out.
Yeah, we don't like that kind of stuff at all. Being from Africa where the weather is consistent year round, the same in the Caribbean. So like having to endure those cold months is not fun, but
I know it's crazy.
Yeah, but we just look forward to going into the summer and spring months again. So
we got no choice. And time is running fast nowadays. Like Friday is gonna be like September 1st.
Already.
It's crazy.
I know.
I'm like, where is it running to?
Where is it running to?
We gotta ask God that.
And hopefully we can keep up with it, right?
Yeah. That's life.
Well, you're looking pretty dapper today with your nice shirt.
Thank you.
So
you're looking good too.
Well, thank you. I think if a young lady were to see you out in public, she would probably give you a second look. So I think it's kind of appropriate for us to talk about like what do men and women find, attractive in each other when it comes to like physicality or personality things. So I think you kind of dressed the part to kind of get the conversation started, so we could talk about like what we find to be attractive in someone that we're pursuing or someone that we're interested in. So maybe you can share like from your perspective as a man who was born and raised in Africa and now lives in the western part of the world, specifically the United States. Um, when you think about like dating or being attracted to a woman back home versus dating and being attracted to someone here, like what are some of the things that or characteristics that you think would attract you to a woman? Let's just talk about Africa first. Like in Africa, like what type of like traits you would find attractive in a woman in Africa?
For me, like personally, I like a woman that's like has meat on their body, meaning like America call it like chubby or thick.
Okay.
I think thick, like not too big, but just in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. In Africa, we call it like we call it like big, or like average, or. So I like that.
Yeah.
So mostly the girl that has like a nice behind. I'm not a breast kind of a person, but the behind, So that's the first thing I look at.
Okay.
And that attracts me to a lady. And then I'll, come to her and talk to her.
Yeah.
And then I realize, then I get to learn who she is and where she's from and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like skinny, like too skinny. Like, I mean, like, what am I gonna do with that?
Okay.
And then like, there's an adage that they always say like, men look for a woman that has a good body because so that they can be able to bear the child.
Oh.
So if you see a lady that's really, really skinny, like, man, I don't think she can be able to bear my child,
Interesting.
So you look for somebody that, that she got milk upstairs good. She got good downstairs and she can bear your child,
Wow.
So that's what I see.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So that's a lot to unpack too. So is it fair to say and I can only speak from experience, so any ladies that kind of share similar experiences, we'd love to hear in the comment section of this video what your thoughts are. But being a woman who is very blessed in certain aspects of her physical body, I find like a lot of men, specifically like African men or Caribbean men, like they love curvaceous women.
Mhm.
They love women that have like, smaller waist and big hips and butt and thighs and stuff like that. Like they really, 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 really love it. And not to say that they're not attracted to women who are average size or women who are more athletic built, but there's just something about a woman with curves that just drives some men crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, the same can probably be said about American men or men in the UK, but there's definitely more so an appreciation for the curves from African men and Caribbean men. So I'm curious to think like, why do you feel that might be the case?
It's more of what you have
Mm-hmm.
and what you don't have, right?
Okay.
So like in Africa, we have more women that's average and
Mm-hmm.
skinny, right?
Okay.
So that's what we come through every day.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't see much of the curves and all that, right?
Okay.
Especially in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
West Africa, and East Africa.
Okay.
Now, South Africa is a different dimension
Sure. Yeah.
where you have that, women with more curves and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and men must not, or most men's or some men's are
Mm-hmm.
attracted to women that have more body,
Sure.
So when we come to America, we see there's more women that's, curvy or
Mm-hmm.
big than that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and compared to average. So that's what we tend to go after
Sure.
because we're used to, having average and skinny women
Sure.
more in Africa, and
Okay.
then you come somewhere you see more women with meat,
Mm-hmm.
then you go after what you don't usually get or usually see
Okay.
in your country
Yeah.
because sometimes when you see a woman that big in my country,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, it's either she's in a relationship or you know it's not gonna be easy because most guys want that kind of lady. So
Okay.
it's like a battle. Yeah. So
A
that's why when
battle.
we come here, we when we see a lot of women who curve and stuff, man, we don't play with it.
Hey.
We like to eat.
Okay. Y'all greedy. But but so okay, that's interesting because yeah, so this could be uh it could be a controversial kind of thing because being a woman who's plus size and have curves, um you know be honest, a lot of people would deem that as not being healthy because you're carrying a lot of weight on your body. And those can lead to like medical conditions down the road, which is, that's a separate conversation there. But I believe in this part of the world, there's a lot of emphasis in women embracing the bodies that they have, whether, they may be average, overweight, whatever the case may be, just being okay with who you are in the body and the skin that you're in. And then if there are aspects of yourself you want to change, then you're going to go ahead and do whatever is necessary to get those things adjusted so you can feel better about yourself. But there are women who, are plus size or, whatever name they have for it that are very confident in their body and in their skin, and they don't mind showing off their curves and their assets and stuff like that. So hearing from you, like, as a man, who's used to seeing women in Africa built a certain kind of way, and then you come over to the US and you see like, oh, the women here are bigger and they're more curvier. So it's like, this is something I'm not used to seeing.
Yeah.
So like there's some curiosity about like, okay, like what is this all about? And and then sometimes, some men find out like, oh crap, like I actually like dating a woman who's bigger, and um so I'm going to share this thing with you. So there's this viral clip that had been going around
Mhm.
from this podcast where a young lady had mentioned that men typically date women who are larger because they, and I'm going to paraphrase, they kind of look at women who are larger as women who are less than, or women who just settle because they can't get what they want because of the way of how they look.
Mm-hmm.
right? So a lot of her perspective is a lot of larger women will tend to date a guy who is not financially sound or is not really doing much for himself because as a big woman she doesn't have much options in the dating market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just curious to know, like, from that perspective, like, what do you think about the fact that she is alleging that plus size women will date men who don't make a lot of money or don't really have a lot going for themselves because they have no other options?
Before I come to that,
Yeah.
like, it's I learned this in America and the
Hmm.
Western world.
Hmm.
Is like in Africa we have what is big, small, and skinny, right?
Okay.
America has so many
Hmm.
sentences. They have
Hmm. They do
big, small, average,
everything.
BBW, SSW. So there's a whole lot of
Yeah, it's so
letters
many.
to that.
You're right. You're
So
right. Yeah.
when you talk about big women, it depends
Hmm.
on how big,
Okay.
because there's women that's really, really, really big, right?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
I think they call it the SSBW.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's like really, really big.
Okay.
So those ones that are challenge to some guys,
Sure. Hmm.
because um well there and there's a difference between having fun and being serious, right?
Okay. Okay.
Some guys can like that to have fun,
Sure.
while some guys, want to be serious. So
Hmm.
it's all about the end game of the interaction with the
Okay.
lady, right?
Yeah.
So most guys here, the way I see it, like average lady,
Hmm.
not too big.
Hmm.
So and most women's work here, right?
Hmm.
Or I could say all women's work here.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you find out that sometimes those ladies that are big are with a guy that don't work and she's taking care of him,
Okay.
or he's been incarcerated and
Hmm.
he's giving her the attention and she's taking care of him.
Hmm.
So it looks
Hmm.
like she's settled on it
Hmm.
because she's she's the man in the home, meaning she's the provider, the breadwinner, and everything, right?
Okay.
And he just stays home and does what he wants, right?
Okay.
So people can look at that as settled and
Hmm.
use because she's big, and that's why.
Hmm.
So to come to that, um, I wouldn't say that they're settling,
Okay.
because people date or be who likes them.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
And another thing about the a woman being big, right,
Hmm.
is people childbearing. I mean,
Okay.
sometimes how big you are can prevent you or affect you from bearing a child successfully.
Okay.
That's why sometimes doctors say you gotta lose some weight. Like you see a woman that they're trying to have kids, and
Hmm.
the doctor's like, I've tested you, you gotta lose some weight, you got all that stuff.
Mm.
Sometimes
Interesting.
like African men, kids are really important to us,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So no matter a woman that we're dating or however, if we know that she cannot have kids
Hmm.
while dating her, or because of her health, it's
Hmm.
gonna be like minus.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So but for fun part, yeah, why not? Yeah.
Why
So
not?
yeah, so
Yeah. So okay. So because a woman is um in her current relationship, maybe the breadwinner
mhm.
and providing financially for the household, does not mean that she's the man in the relationship. It just means that's just what their dynamic is. So I just want to say that for the record, that Teah, Queen
Mhm.
Teah, if I am providing financially in my household
Mhm.
while my husband, my boyfriend is in transition in his career path, it does not mean that Teah is the man. It just means that I got my man's back.
That
Okay. So
mm.
I ain't trying to be him, but we need to make sure the house is still moving forward. So I want to say
um what I want to add to what you said is I don't think you understand what I said,
okay, go
because
for it.
what I said was you have situation where a woman, right, is paying the bill,
Uh-huh.
paying everything, and the guy is living in her house.
Right. And you say that she's like the man.
Yes, because she's taking all the responsibility of a man. And what you're saying is him transitioning, right? I'm talking about him not transitioning to nowhere,
so,
apart from the home and playing video games.
Him transitioning from the bed to the couch.
The bed to the couch, the video game, the TV.
Got you.
Maybe once in a while, I ask you, hey, baby, I need like $200 to go out with my guys, and you give it to him. Yeah. And he goes out with his guys and come back. That's what I'm talking about.
Understood. So she's more like his mother. In
you
that
could say
instant.
mother, I say she's a man.
Yeah, she's more like his mother in that instant. And I think that leads to a bigger issue that it has nothing to do with her being overweight or plus size or whatever, fat, whatever. It has everything to do with him not stepping up and being a man and doing what he needs to do. But so there's this mindset here, at least here in America, because that's where I live, that for some reason women who are bigger, plus size, fat, whatever you want to call them, that they're not at the same level as a woman who is physically fit or thin. That and social media has a lot to do in that aspect. But also you kind of see a trend now of women going through some pretty extreme lengths to make these enhancements to make themselves look more desirable or more attracted to men. So let's talk a little bit about women who choose to go under the knife and get like a, a Brazilian butt lift, or a BBL is what they call them. Um, get fat transfers from their stomach to their hips and thighs to make them more curvaceous and stuff like that. So what are your thoughts about women who choose to get all these enhancements done to make themselves look more desirable? And do you feel that women more so now are doing this to attract more men, or you feel like they're doing this to kind of make themselves feel better in their own body?
Before I start, I would like to add one clip.
Okay,
of it.
Let's go.
You know how it is.
I hear you.
So for me personally, I feel like most women are not satisfied with themselves.
Okay.
Because so you only see that in the woman's dimension mostly.
Okay.
Where they're always changing one part of their body. You see a woman blessed with nice body, right? They want more. Yeah. They go under that. You see a woman not blessed, they want more. So it's like woman, once she gets some money, once there's access to financial stability enough, they always go for surgery or something. Okay. And nowadays you see a lot of women dying from that surgery. Yeah. The other day I heard a woman was married to a guy, they had kids, and she's beautiful. Yeah. She still went for Brazilian surgery and she died in the process. So I just trying to understand. Women say they want to do it for themselves, or they want to do it for the man. Everybody has their choices of what they're doing it. Okay. But most times it's both. Okay. Women do for themselves and for the men. So it's 50-50. Sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the reality is they leave what they're supposed to do. Because women are complaining, oh, men's like women's with a butt, women's with a breast, right? But look, when you look at so many women with a breast and a butt, they're still single. Why is that? Women leave the reason why what men want and go for something different. Men want a woman that has a good character, has a home train, has a stability of a mindset and a wife material in my country, right? Okay. As we say. Okay. So the women leave there and go and get a temporary fix. Okay. By going to Brazil and get a butt lift. And that's a painful process. Sure. So many women die in that process. Yeah. It costs millions of money for that process. Sure. It costs pains that when you do, you can't sit down, you can't do that for months. It's unbelievable. Like right, yeah. I can't imagine or fathom the aspect of it, right? Yeah. They do that and then they realize that, man, I'm still in the same situation. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is the men are coming and having fun with me more. Yeah. And there's no seriousness. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm still single. I'm still in the market. Yeah. The only difference is that I have more stuff coming in me and going out. You know what I mean? Running out. So it's still the same situation.
Yeah.
The fix is your character.
Mm-hmm.
Because we look at women's with nice curves and everything
Yeah.
as fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you're having fun, that's when you get to know who you're having fun with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can decide if you want to be with that person or not.
Right.
So I don't encourage women to do Brazilian butt lift and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff because
Mm-hmm.
it's a risk. You have a 50-50 chance of living and dying.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is, why do y'all like to change your body so much?
Mm-hmm. That's
Because it's not only that you can see a woman with that's been born blessed with curves,
sure.
that's like average curve,
Mm-hmm.
nice up, everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's still not satisfied. She'll still
Mm-hmm.
go and add more curve to it or add
Yeah.
more shape to it and mess
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah. That's a really good question. I believe it has a lot to do with how the woman views herself, period. Um, does she see value in herself? It also can be tied back to her upbringing. So like if her parents didn't instill in her that she's beautiful the way she is and help her to build her self-confidence, that could definitely be a factor when you come into a world where you're seeing all these women made up a certain kind of way, right?
Yeah.
So I want to before I answer that question fully, I want to kind of get back to what you were saying about um it's kind of 50-50 for women that decide to do like surgical enhancements to their bodies. Some women say they do it because they want to make themselves feel better, they're doing it for themselves. Other women may say that they're doing it because they want to make their spouse, their husband, their boyfriend happy, or so it also it goes into this whole thing about like the dynamic, and we've talked about this before, the dynamic of like men tend to date women who are younger than them. So a lot of women that are aging, and we all age, like that's one thing we can't get away from is
Yeah.
us aging. We're blessed to be in our 80s and 90s, praise God, can't wait to get there. But like but still trying to keep up with the younger women of today. So a lot of women who are aging and they still want to remain relevant in the dating market, if they're still dating, if they're not married, um, they understand that they're having to compete with younger women who are coming into the dating marketplace that have, according to you, less bodies than some of these other women do, and haven't been tainted by relationships or jaded by relationships. So a lot of them find themselves wanting to do things that make them seem and appear more youthful. So they may change their hair often. They may opt to go get Botox to like make sure their cheeks are still, firm. They don't have any wrinkle lines when they smile. They may decide to go and get a BBL, go like to Miami or to Dominican Republic or go over to South America to get these type of dangerous surgical procedures. Like you said, 50-50 that people come out of it. And like lately now you're hearing a lot in the news about these women who are succumbing to these procedures, that they want to go and they want to do, like they call like a mommy makeover is what they call it. So like you've had a couple of kids and for women that have children, you understand there's wear and tear that happens to the body. Your body's not the same after you've pushed a whole human out of your lady part. So things change. So they want to, feel more confident about themselves. They go get, whatever. And for a lot of women, they're not making it off the surgical table, and then now the husband or the father of the kids is kind of left now to raise these children on their own when she was trying to do something to enhance herself. But I'm saying all that to say that I think for a lot of women who want to go and get the surgeries, they look at men that they're attracted to, especially on social media, and then who the men are following. So I need for you to break this down to me because I've seen this as well.
Yeah.
So you hear men say, like, I'm looking for a woman who's wholesome, she got good character, she's natural. And to them, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, when men say, they're looking for a woman that's natural, meaning she's not wearing like any, weaves or hair extensions. She's not wearing like, fake nails, fake eyelashes. Um, all of her body parts are real the way God created her. There wasn't things that were transferred or implanted into her body. But then when I go to the same guy's social media account and I look at all the people that they're following, these are women, they got big old butts. You can tell that these women have had some enhancements done to their bodies. Yeah. They're wearing wigs, nails, lashes, the whole nine. So as a woman, I hear what you're saying, but then what you're choosing to follow doesn't match what you're saying. So there's confusion.